Hello everyone, welcome to my latest video. This video is of me making my pocket notebooks from start to finish. The paper I'm using is the DCWV paper, Sunday Morning. I got this paper pad back when you could get it in the 12 by 12 inch format, which I don't think you can get anymore. Here is the paper I will be filling the books with. I print this paper myself off of my LaserJet. I have formatted the lines, the dots, and a grid myself, all to around 5mm apart. I do this because, for starters, I cannot find lined paper in the size that I need to cut up to fit my books, so I make my own. Here you can see me taking the long way around to cut my paper to size, which is just in half, 5.5, and 5.5. I'm cutting on top of my paper cutter and completely missing the point of it. I assure you, I have since figured out what my paper cutter is in fact used for, and I do now use it to cut my paper in half much faster. We can also use this as an example of, if you do not have a paper trimmer, this is a good way to cut your paper. I am cutting 6 sheets at a time, putting moderate pressure on my ruler, and doing light pressure with my knife and going slow. I'm just about finished with this nonsense, and now I'm folding the papers, and I'm sorting out how many pages I want to go in each book, which is 12 sheets of paper, folded in half makes 24, and that's 48 pages. I don't count the covers because it's non-writable surface, so I do the bad and I don't count the covers, but I do count all the pages. You will see a lot of my hand because I still don't know where my camera is in relation to anything, really. The troubles of learning. I like showing the first book at each stage of the process at normal speed so that you get a chance to see what I'm doing. And then because there are, I think, 6 books, I just speed it up so that you see the whole process, but you're not bored to tears by watching it in normal mode. Just enough to see what I'm doing. Personally, I do like to watch these videos. I find watching people do stuff is very soothing and relaxing. I could be doing my own stuff, but I don't. This is just me picking the covers to go with which paper style. I wanted to make sure I had a bit of a mix of everything and that not 2 covers had the same type of paper on the inside. I take so much care here, you can see, folding that paper. It's not really necessary. It just has to be folded because it's going to get trimmed. So I don't know why, but I did. I enjoy the process. That heart paper is lovely. It has glitter glued to the front, and it's glued in such a way that it's jelly feeling, so the glitter doesn't come off. Have no fear. This is me desperately trying to get the paper to line up at the bottom so that I only have to make 1 cut on the top, which I will be using my paper trimmer for. I also have since stopped using so many paper clips. 1, they ruin the paper, and 2, they are not necessary to have 2 paper clips at the bottom because I trim off all the imperfections at the end anyways. I'm trying this new thing in my voiceovers where I talk quietly so I don't sound so nervous and overexcited like normal. This is in no way supposed to sound like ASMR. This is just me trying to convey information in a quiet, calm manner instead of getting overexcited and potentially losing my lunch in my nervous state. This is me making the marks for where I'm going to sew the pages. I do them individually and at a 1/2 inch basis. I do it individually this way simply because it is the easiest for me to figure out. I make my marks, I will punch my holes, and then I will mark the next book. In this, I do believe I mark them all first and then punch them all. But I find myself lately, I make my mark, I punch my book, I sew my book, I move on to the next book, which is highly inefficient, but I enjoy the process better because then I'm not stuck doing one thing over and over for an hour. I get a chance to switch it up and change about, and it makes me feel less tedious. Me feel less tedious? Sure. It's less tedious for me to do it when I break it up and take a little bit more time. I am recording this voiceover much later than when I filmed, I filmed these at the end of August. It is now the 19th of October, so if there's some double footage, I apologize. Here I am punching the holes in my books. I use an old novel that I got at the dump to punch holes in so that it's easier. It makes the book stand a bit on that half closed so that my awl goes right through the middle where it should. I do have a fancy tool for this that I got from Michael's, the We Are Memory Keepers tool. I do not use it because I find it slows me down. I happen to use the awl from it though, because that's the only one I have. Also, I do normally use a phone book, but I figured that would kind of locate me, which I'm not prepared for at this time in my life. So you will not be seeing the phone book. This thread was organized by my mother. She cross-stitched at one point in her life and decided she had to have all colors of all embroidery floss ever made by DMC ? Anyhow, I have since appropriated the embroidery floss for my book binding, and I have reaped the benefits of her pre-organizing. I will, however, be reorganizing in the future because her organizing methods do not make sense to me. And that is not a slight against my mother. I just have no idea how she did it. So I'm going to have to redo it so it makes sense in my craft adult brain. This is the longest part in the video at this speed, but I go through it the entire stitching of a book. I got this stitching method from Sea Lemon, who I will link to you because her resources are very useful. I believe it is the Mystic Chain Stitch. That video will be specifically linked. I have found it very helpful. I do it very slowly here. Every once in a while, you do get a chance to see what I'm actually doing, but it's not that often. Feel free to speed this part up. I know I do. I will be sewing the rest of the books at high speed. In the video, not in real life. I seem to have lost all of the audio from these files for Resolve. However, in light of my 10-month-old baby is playing and screaming in delight with her toys, I think it's better that we don't have the audio anyways. That is my son in the background helping me voice over. Ah yes, finally. Now here we are when my brain kicked in and I started using my paper trimmer like a normal person. Here you will see I have a, oh, is it a squaring triangle? I don't know. My partner knows what it is, it's his. I use it to make sure that my paper cutter is straight because it was cheap as far as these are concerned, and I don't know why the design is so flawed, but I require it if I want my cuts to be 90 degrees. All of my paper scraps are either recycled or reused. I have started trying to make my own paper with the ghetto equipment I have at home. It works fairly well, and I add the new homemade paper to other books that I've been making. So all of this paper does get recycled or reused. It is not wasted or thrown in the garbage. As we are nearing the end of the video, you will see the finished product, which is in fact 10 books, not 6. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching my video. I hope you enjoyed what you saw with your eyeballs today. Apparently my sarcasm is climbing, so it's a good thing we're done. Thank you so much for watching. Please like this video if you would like to see more. Subscribe if you would like. I do not post with any kind of frequency at the moment, but I am in the process of thinking about trying. I hope you all have a lovely day, and thank you so much.